Hey everyone, welcome to another entry to this Diary of a Business Owner, where I'm trying to document the things that I'm doing and have done with my business that I purchased just at the beginning of this year. It's a carpet and steam cleaning business and down here in Houston. And of course, I'll talk about any other businesses that I might acquire in the future. Whether or not it's just this one, we shall see. But documenting kind of what's going on, things I'm thinking about, strategies I'm trying to implement or thinking about implementing, talking about ideas in general as well. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, be sure to subscribe or follow so you don't miss any future episodes, as I'll try to do these pretty regularly, at least monthly, but probably closer to every other week if I can. But just kind of depends on what's going on and whether I make set aside the time to do this sort of thing. Of course, if you have questions and you're watching this live, be sure to put them in the chat. And if you're not watching this live, you can leave a comment and I'll try to look at it in a future episode as well and answer it then. Anyways, with that said, let's kind of discuss kind of what's happened since the last one. We've had a few adjustments here. We actually just hired a new person as of today. I had the offer accepted, and they'll be starting in another week or about a week and a half or so, and they'll be coming on as an administrative assistant. And this will be on a full-time basis. So the thing about what we've kind of had going on before is we have a kind of outsourced call center administrative agency sort of thing going on. So they're the ones managing the day-to-day calls for the most part, and they're getting jobs scheduled. They're kind of the first line, but they're outsourced. So, it's not going to be the same as someone who's totally full time on just this business. They're dealing with, they do a nice job, but they're dealing with multiple businesses. They're not necessarily incentivized in the same way. They wouldn't get a commission for upselling anything. It's not as high quality as it could be, even though they do a nice job and we don't have problems with it. It's just, if we're trying to get to that next level, it makes sense to bring someone in-house. Plus, it'll help a lot when, after it gets through that sort of first line, that first call, once it does get scheduled, we'll have someone who can do a lot more focusing on following up with our customers, with calling ahead of time as well to make sure that things are set, that they're not interested in some other product as well that we could offer them and upsell. And also we have someone and also the administrative assistant could help us by calling previous previous customers who maybe used the business a year plus ago, but have just kind of fallen off. And in the free time that this assistant will likely have at the beginning, they can spend their time calling these former customers. So that's kind of what I had in mind. It's going to be taking a lot of those scheduling, kind of initial call, follow-up calls, asking for reviews, and also asking if they need anything, and just having that extra sort of personal touch on things. So having someone totally full-time on that would be great. So that is our biggest change since the last episode, which was a couple of weeks ago. And then we also hired an outsourced kind of contracted salesperson through like an overseas agency. And so far that's been okay. We're working on that, just trying to get a good routine down. And it's the first time we're using this agency, so there are some hiccups there, but we're working on that. And if all goes well there, we'll have, at least on the bright side, this person has been working for about a week and does have a couple of promising leads with a hotel, for example. That would be really great if we could close that, because that's a big ticket item that is also recurring, generally speaking, at least annually, even semi-annually, and that'd be really nice to have. So getting someone just focused on those sales calls and trying to bring in leads, setting those initial appointments, and now we'll have an administrative assistant who can then handle sort of the middle portion of things and some of the follow-up. It'll be really nice to have just more people focusing on that, so that myself and the general manager can focus much more on strategic moves, maybe marketing moves, sales, or just anything that doesn't necessarily have to happen, but would really help if it did happen, if that makes sense. Because right now we spend a lot of time working on the sort of necessary blocking and tackling, if you will, of the business. But it'd be really nice if we can get out of that and move on to the more strategic, higher level sort of things more often. And to that, we are planning to launch some new product lines very soon. One of those is going to be duct cleaning. So through some research, we realized that the setup we have for our vans actually can take on a duct cleaning attachment of sorts. It's a few grand per each, but it would give us the opportunity to be able to do duct cleaning, because right now we're just doing tile and carpet cleaning. So that is really nice, that because initially I was thinking that we were going to have to buy a whole nother truck, like a whole duct rig for a separate truck. And that at that point, you're really just doing two jobs at once if someone wants both ducts and carpets. But now we can have it to where the duct cleaning system and the carpet cleaning system are both in the same trucks. That's really great in that I don't have to fork over like 30 grand to get a whole new truck just to start offering duct cleaning. Then you need someone to drive that truck and all that good stuff. So it's really nice that that option is available with our rig. So we're going to be purchasing that very soon for at least one of the trucks. We'll try it out. If all goes well, we'll get the second one for our two trucks that we have right now. So that's a big development that's going to be happening soon. We are going to be offering duct cleaning, and that should really help to pump up the residential ticket size, because that is, I don't want to call it a bottleneck, but it's something that is a little bit a little bit annoying, because it's like 100, like you might have a $120 residential ticket, but you have to drive a half hour to get there. You do the job and then you're done. And, at the end of the day, the business is making very little profit. The technician is making very little commission, and the salesperson is making a little commission. I'm trying to get away from some of those $120 tickets. And if we can have more products to offer to upsell that up to, say, a $500 ticket or even better, then that would be great. So that's what we're trying to work on. Trying to find a way to be able to offer more services to get that average ticket size up, especially for residential, because that's where we see a lot of those little tickets that are well under $200. And unless it's right next door or is already next to another place, it's just really not worth the time. If we can get into more $500 plus jobs that have a lot more profit margin and are more and have more money for everyone to go around, frankly, in the business. So we want to get more of those going. That's one reason we're focusing on the commercial, as I've kind of reiterated in previous episodes. We're trying to get more of those large tickets. So there are two ways to do that. One is to go for larger customers. That's kind of on the commercial side, or at least people who need jobs more often and are also bigger at the same time. So that's kind of what the commercial focus is. But the other way to do it is to increase your average ticket size that you already have coming in. And typically the way you do that would be offering more products or simply increasing prices, which is a little bit tough to do in this sort of industry where it's pretty commoditized. There's a lot of other people offering similar services, so you can't get too reckless on pricing and expect to really get a lot. Maybe that's just a limiting belief, but I'd rather not test it while we got something decent going. So with that said, we're looking to add duct cleaning, but another thing we're also looking to do a lot more of is bundling services. So right now or at least I shouldn't say we don't bundle services right now, but when it comes to tile and carpet cleaning, typically there are a number of add-ons you can add. So think stain guards, color guards, all sorts of stuff like that. And if we can just come out from the get-go, when we talk to a customer, maybe after they schedule, we come in and say, hey, I see you want this tile cleaning. What we typically do with our customers is we offer XYZ add-on. We actually are offering a bundle right now that gets that bundle for a better price than it would be if you got them all separately. So trying to incentivize people to spend more per square foot, which then allows us to have a bigger ticket size, makes it so we're traveling less because each job itself takes longer and is higher dollar, because the more time we can spend at one job, and it means that we're offering more services, we're getting more revenue per job. And that means we have to spend less time driving to a bunch of little jobs to make the same amount of money. So that would be really great to have. So we're trying to focus some of our future marketing efforts on bundling services. Once we have duct cleaning, we can do the same thing, where if someone's getting their carpets cleaned, we can recommend, hey, you just got your carpets cleaned. Or probably the other way around. We would say, okay, you want to get your carpets cleaned, but you want to get your ducts clean as well, because you're just going to let these things pile up with dust again if everything that's in your ducts is coming out through the vents onto the floors again. So best to just clean it right now, and then we can clean your carpets after that, or your floors or whatever. And that way you're now offering you're offering additional value to the customer by showing like, hey, this could help because you're about to get it cleaned anyways, and this will help slow down getting dirty again. Plus, you don't want to breathe all that stuff in. You should get your ducts cleaned periodically anyways. So it's just nice being able to offer that. And it's a pretty common combo that businesses in our industry have, is they offer duct cleaning and carpet and tile, just because it is kind of a natural pairing, and it allows the ticket size to be a lot higher if you can sell that bundle. So that's one thing that'll definitely be pushing a lot more once we get duct cleaning, is selling that combo and getting kind of a discount on both, but it's a still way higher ticket value for us. So it ends up being more profitable anyways. So, it's a win-win in that case. The customer gets a better deal on both services, and then we get a bigger ticket and more profit in the end. So that's one way. And then the other way is bundling more add-ons all together and just kind of packaging it a little bit more nicely and working that into our ad copy as well to get our ad conversions up. If we could say that there's some tile cleaning special where you get the works for a great price, or same thing with carpets, then that'd be really great to try out on some ad copy, because people tend to click a lot more when there are specials ongoing. People ask all the time, do you have any specials ongoing? Is they're price shopping. So if you can offer a really nice package that could potentially land some more people are looking for a more complete service at a decent price. And also kind of related to that, at least with a lot of commercial customers, is they tend to ask for more services from like the same vendor, in that like when they're hiring a vendor, they'll be like, hey, we have we want to keep everything under one vendor's roof. Like, we don't want to have 15 vendors doing 15 different things. We'd rather have one vendor kind of doing as much as possible. So a lot will ask, hey, do you do window washing, or do you do this type of floor cleaning? And if we can offer a couple more services, that could potentially land a few more of those big ticket commercial customers. Though potentially one way around that is to subcontract it out to someone who does do that particular type of cleaning. Like, maybe if we don't do window cleaning, we have a subcontractor we have an agreement with that does the window cleaning for us, but it's still technically in our name. So that's kind of the idea with that. But otherwise, the general trend though is trying to offer more services that are tangential to the carpet and steam cleaning operation. So duct cleaning is a very natural fit. And then after that, we're looking at power washing as well, because I believe we can get a power washing fitting on our same rig as well, which would be great. Now we'd have a sort of very versatile setup that could do not only steam cleaning, not only duct cleaning, but also power washing as well. And if there are any other add-ons we can find, that'd be great, because that would eliminate a lot of the capital restraints, because we already have that machine set up. We just got to buy the add-on. And even if the add-on is overpriced, like many of these rigs seem to be, what are you going to do? It's a lot better than buying a whole truck. And I think they know that. So anyways, that's kind of the major developments that are going on right now. Have the new hire, looking forward to that. That should really give us a lot of extra capacity to do a lot of things, just taking away a lot of those administrative tasks off of my plate and the manager's plate, since we do spend more time than we'd like on those things, especially moving schedules around. If we have problems with technicians or problems with jobs or problems with customers, you never know. Stuff just comes up, and having someone who could just focus on handling the schedule and keeping things in line would be really nice to have. Now, before I kind of get on to the next part, just want to remind everyone to leave any questions you have in the chat if you want me to answer anything about the business or otherwise, and I'll try to get to those. But and that's if you're watching live. If you're not watching live, definitely leave a comment below or wherever it is on whatever platform it is, because this is streaming on multiple platforms. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. So whatever platform floats your boat, just try to leave it there. But moving forward, we're in a pretty good spot team-wise. I don't think we're going to need very many hires at all going forward, but before we because I don't think we're going to run into any capacity issues for a while. The only hire I might look at now would be getting another salesperson. So just to give you for a full lay of the land right now, we have 2 full-time technicians. We have a general manager. We have soon to be an administrative assistant in about a week, and then she'll be full-time. And then we have a salesperson who is part-time abroad, and we're looking to potentially add another salesperson right away, part-time, and if they're good, we'll up them to full time. That's kind of the idea. So that's kind of the team we have now, and then we have some outsourced services for marketing and web management, as well as for that sort of administrative call center service we have that takes our initial calls and gets things scheduled, and it's sort of our front end for a lot of that. So that's kind of the situation we have there. So from there, there's not a whole lot of need right now for capacity or making things smoother. The only thing that would be really nice to have would be more leads. So sales would be the natural inclination again, just focusing on that and bringing on more salespeople to try and get that lead flow really going, especially on the commercial side. Some of those bigger tickets that'd be really, really, really nice to have, and we'll have more services to offer in the very near future too. So that's kind of where I'm looking going forward. I'm giving the manager a lot of a pretty long leash to do things, and a lot of autonomy and kind of what's going on in the day to day. I'm trying to prevent myself from getting too into the weeds on things when I don't need to. Even if I could do it faster, and even if I think I could do it better, I'd rather just allow the manager to figure out a way to do it or get someone else to do it. Now that he'll have an administrative assistant, that should be, I think, a lot more effective. So I just want to make sure long term, though, that I'm really focusing on the high level strategy, checking in when there are fires, of course, or checking in all the time, but coming in if there are fires, or if we need to make a hard decision, or just talk over strategy. That's really what I want my ultimate role to be. It's just kind of more longer term strategy, capital allocation, me giving advice where I can, because I'm still quite new to this, just as the manager is. We're both pretty new to this space, but that's really what I want my long-term role to be. So I should try to prevent myself from micromanaging as much as I can while things are still pretty manageable. If things become unmanageable, then I wouldn't be able to micromanage it very much anyways. So that's what I'm trying to do here. Just really focusing on some of these higher level issues as much as I can, and pushing the ball forward in those higher level areas as I can, creating some systems that can have repeated use, trying to avoid those sort of one-off daily tasks, and instead focusing on things that are very repeatable or scalable or can be used by a bunch of people after this, finding new systems, finding new software, all that good stuff that would last well beyond the day I work on it. So that's what I'm trying to focus on, in addition to helping out with building the team and bringing on new people. Though that's probably going to slow for the foreseeable future until we get our capacity, or until we get our sales up and fill out our existing capacity that we have, and that has just expanded now that we have an administrative assistant to help us with a lot of the intake and scheduling and adjustments and follow-up, which does take quite a bit of time. So with that said, it's kind of an update for this last month, or these last few weeks, I should say. I took a quick trip to Chicago last week, and that was really great. I had sort of a business owners meetup. Granted, it was open to more than just business owners. There's a lot of my existing network up in Chicago. We had a nice meetup at a restaurant downtown. So I plan on doing more things like that in both Chicago, Houston, and elsewhere. Wherever I'm traveling, I'll try to do some sort of meetup in town. Just to find a way to meet more business owners, investors, people in and around business. Don't have to be owners, of course. Just trying to meet more people sort of in this space to try and find a way that I can add value. And if they can add value, that's great. But the whole point is just to meet people, learn something, or provide value in some way. So if you're interested in that, be sure to subscribe and check out. If you're interested in events in particular, go to my website at jackduffley.com/events. And you'll see any upcoming events I have. I'll always make sure to put them on there. And I should probably update it now to include a recap or like a nice picture from the last event, since it was real nice. So if you're interested in that, definitely check it out. And I'll look forward to seeing you in whatever city it is and meeting you. And of course, if you want to reach out as well by any of my social platforms that I'm on, then please do that as well. But with that said, thank you very much. And until next time.